Hello everybody, welcome back to MC Panda, to the first episode of Development Diaries. Now, hopefully you have seen the introduction video where I introduced to my new murder mystery game project. I still haven't thought of a proper name for it. I'm thinking about calling it Among the Blocks, potentially, because it's like a version of Among Us in Minecraft. It's not a particularly good name. If you have any other ideas on what to call it, please leave them in the comments. This Development Diaries episode is going to be on map design, so let's get right into it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I've done since the last episode, and then I'm going to do a couple of things. I think I'm going to make the vent connections in this episode and talk through a couple of the decisions I've made. So the first change we have is, if you've watched the introduction video, this is the dropship I kind of showed off. And we now have items for the crewmates to collect. Because you may remember I said that they just have to go in there, otherwise it'd be too obvious. They actually have a reason to go in there now, which I'm very happy about. So if we just start from the beginning, I haven't really made any changes to this bit, so you can still press this. The start game button still doesn't do anything yet. It just pushes the pistons for the eventual mechanism. And then in here, item collection, we have ID cards for the crewmates. So each of the crewmates has one of these ID cards they can use to enter the reactor. And you'll also need some of the tasks, like the equivalent of swipe card. Don't worry, it's gonna be much easier than admin swipe card. It's basically gonna be, you put this ID card in the dispenser, it gets verified, and then it gets given back to you to enter the reactor or to use some of the tasks. The detectives have these as well, and the imposters have fake ID cards. So that's pretty much all I've done in this section. The main thing I've done is built the design of the map. But this is it. This is the map design. And so the blue are the rooms. The light blue is the corridors. And I am eventually going to have white lines for the vent connections, which is what I'm going to do in this episode. So I'll show you the decisions I've made. So this purple block is the spawn, because you're not actually going to spawn in the cafeteria on my map. I've instead decided that you're going to spawn in this area called boarding. It's kind of like where you board the ship. And then, if we travel along here, you might want to offload heavy cargo onto the ship, which is why right here we have storage. Now, I haven't done it. Don't worry, they're not going to be blue. This is just me mapping out the room sizes and where they are for now. The actual floors are going to be designed in a future Development Diaries. And yeah, storage here, it's a very big room that you can come to. And then on the other side, what else do you need near boarding? You'll probably want to get sick passengers off the ship quickly, which is why we have medical here. Medical is essentially the version of medbay. I'm going to try and have like a medbay scan here. I am doing tasks as well. The tasks, I'm not sure entirely what all of them are going to be yet, but I have thought about it in terms of room sizes and is place easy to get to. What do you need next to medical? Well, they might need some oxygen. The patients might need some oxygen. So O2 is here. These brown blocks represent sabotage points. The way I'm going to do sabotage is the imposter is going to, rather than having sabotage button because it's not possible, they're going to come to the room they want to sabotage, and then they're going to have to pull a lever or do some sort of thing that sets it off. Then each of the sabotage rooms are going to have a vent where they can just get away. Speaking of the vents, I made a decision that when I was testing, if they're in the floor, you can't really see if there's anyone in the room when you come up. So instead, I've decided that I'm going to put the vents in the ceiling, so you can see who's in the room at the time. It does mean we're going to have to use a ladder to get up, but it's the best alternative I could think of. And other than that, it's going to be exactly the same. So if we continue along here, these are the corridors. Here we have electrical. Now I wanted to keep the fact that this is a room where you really don't want to go in, but in most rounds you pretty much have to. It's like a hub almost, and a lot of people get eliminated in here. Now the way I do this is that we have obviously the light sabotage here. I'm going to do a light sabotage by giving everyone blindness, and the O2 sabotage will be a ticking clock that basically kills you if it gets to a certain amount of time using repeaters. But the way I do an electrical is it has only one way in and one way out. This is key. It also is quite big, so it has a lot of tasks in electrical, so a lot of people go there. And you'll need to go there pretty much every round. And then also it's going to have a vent in it that takes you to all of these different places around it. Don't put if you want to recreate Among Us on your own and you want to create your own map, don't put electrical on an edge. It needs to be somewhere somewhere near the middle of the map where there's lots of places you can go to. So on the skeld, you can go to either medical or security. I've gone one step further and done it so that with electrical, you can go to medical, O2, boarding, and kitchen for all of these. So that is how you make electrical a successful room. So kitchen is quite a small room. It's connected to the cafeteria, which is there, and storage, and it's pretty much just going to be a task room where you can... One of the tasks I'm thinking could be in here is bake a cake, which is going to be quite a fun one. And then through here, as you can see, through here we have cafeteria. Now this red block represents the emergency button, because there's going to be a big table here with the emergency button that you just press to call an emergency meeting. Now, you can't really report bodies in Minecraft. So my solution to that is when someone gets eliminated, they will spawn in a spawn room somewhere around here, and then the ghost can basically press a button which calls a meeting and reports a dead body. So that is how it'll work. Through here we have engine, pretty much just a small room which is going to have the engine in it. If you notice, I've tried to make this thing look like a functional spaceship. So over here at that end we have cockpit, and then engine at the back, and then the ship, you can see we have diagonal edges this way and straight edges at the back. It looked better on the Paint 3D sketch I made, but when I actually built it I did have to make a couple of changes. Next, so we've got engine. Next, I think I might as well show you... Actually, I'll show you reactor first. This is reactor. Now, you're going to need an ID card to enter. So there's going to be a panel here. You put your ID card in, and then you can get in. And this is where the reactor sabotage is going to be. So, like Among Us, the O2 sabotage is if you want to separate people, because they'll need to go to O2 and to admin. Reactor is if you want to get everyone to the same place, which is this tiny circular room here. And then next through here we have admin. Oh yeah, the reactor sabotage will do the same way as O2 sabotage. It's just a repeater clock that kills you if it gets to the end of the time. This is admin. It's got four ways in and 4 ways out, and it's going to be there'll be one O2 sabotage fix point here and a couple of tasks as well. So next up we have bunk rooms. This can be accessed from both cafeteria and admin, and it's basically going to have a bunch of beds to stay in. It's going to have some showers. It's going to have sort of like a lounge area close to the cafeteria. It's where they can stay, and if they're in the ship. Also, through here, if we go into admin, we have weapons over here. Not weapons, military. So I decided, instead of having a separate weapons and shields, I decided to combine them into one called military. So through here, there's going to be some form of clear asteroids task, some form of prime shields task, and it's basically a blend between those two rooms. And then next to military, if we go over here, we have security. Now, I don't think there's a way to do security cameras or an admin table, unfortunately. Which means I think we're going to have to just not use them in the game. Which, it is a bit of a shame, but you've got to work within the limitations of Minecraft. If anyone has any ideas on how I could do either security cameras or an admin table, either using command blocks or through some other way, please let me know. I would love to hear your ideas about this. Until then, we just have security as a task room. Next, here we are. This is cockpit. So this is essentially navigation. It's called cockpit on airship, and I think it's a better name than navigation. This is where you'll kind of drive the ship. You'll notice there is a sabotage point in here. Now there isn't a communications on this map. I decided a comm sabotage doesn't really work in this version because each of the crewmates has their own task list in their own book. And since no security cameras or admin, having a comm sabotage would be basically pointless. So instead, I've got this cockpit sabotage. So what the idea behind this sabotage is, the imposter comes here and they divert the ship a different way to where it's going, which means the journey is going to be longer. A longer journey means you'll have to do more tasks to keep the ship going. So, this sabotage, every 10 seconds the crewmates take to fix this sabotage, one of their tasks gets reset and they have to do it again. So that is a task sabotage, which isn't in the main game. I know a lot of people have been talking about having a task sabotage. So I've had this as my 4th sabotage, and rather than a comm sabotage, we had this one. Next up, I believe this is the final room. This is control. It's pretty much just another task room that I have here. I was originally going to have this be where the imposter sabotaged everywhere, but instead I decided to put it in each of the individual rooms. So control pretty much exists as just a task room at the moment. However, I may add some extra purpose to it. So overall, I think this is a good map design. If you have any ideas on how to improve it, please let me know. So next, something I actually wanted to do on camera was talk about vent connections. So I'm going to use white concrete to kind of map them out. So the only one I'm 100% sure of, because these may change, and I had vent connections on the original sketch, but I decided that I didn't like those ones. The one I'm 100% sure about is this one. This vent connection that takes you between all 5 even of these rooms. Electrical, medical, O2, boarding, and kitchen. We'll have to see when we're playing if this is too OP. I have a feeling it might be too OP, but that's why we test things. So if I keep going here, it needs to run to either storage or kitchen. Originally I was going to have it do kitchen, but I think actually if we put it in storage it'll be better, because then you might be able to hide behind one of the cargo boxes that are going to be in here. The next one I want to do, because I want there to be a vent connection between every single sabotage point. We'll have a vent between we'll probably want a vent between reactor, admin, and one of the other rooms. We'll see where we can go from here. Admin, reactor, and maybe cafeteria. Yeah, we'll go cafeteria. Here's the vent network. I've joined it up so you'll be able to go between these 3. Boarding and storage, you can go to them or you can go back through these. The way I'm going to do the vents is if you swim in water and then you go out of the water, you can actually crawl on the ground. So that's how I'm going to do the vents. You're going to be crawling through almost like a maze network of tunnels above the map. The next vent network I think I'm going to do is between bunk rooms. Military, and security. This one's going to be a fairly simple one. And then, where else do we need? We pretty much just need a vent for cockpits so that you can get to it. I reckon 2 vents in O2. We could probably do 2 vents in O2, actually. So we don't want to have vents everywhere in the map. I think kitchen and engine are fine without vents. Yeah, I'll build just the first I'll build like a letter code for the room, and then I will build it above these, lock the map, and then get rid of all the letters in the sky. So for example, admin, I'll build an A out of something that stands out. So I'll speed up the video while I do this. I'll probably do them in what colour should I do this? Something that stands out. Yellow. So for some of these, we're going to need to use 2 letters because there's a medical and a military. So I'll do ME and MI for that. But in the map, I'm also going to include a key at the bottom here, which is going to basically tell you what is what. So I'll have the letters representing each of the rooms and the Y equals vent connections and things. So I think I'll do this. I'll do this part off camera. You get the gist of what I'm doing, and then next Wednesday, when the next development Diaries comes out, I will show you my finished map with the key, the letters, the rooms and everything. And we will, next time, I'm not sure what the theme is going to be next time, but it's good. But I'm going to be continuing with this, and I will see you all then. So subscribe to MC Panda, subscribe to iSet Gaming, my group channel, and leave a like on this video if you enjoyed. Comment if you have any ideas for how to do the security cameras or the admin table, because I have no clue how I'm going to do those at all, or if I'm even going to be able to. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe for more content like this, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.